Hey there, listeners. We are back today with another episode of A Sex Talk with me, Taffy. Today's episode is a little bit different because my recording software got a little fucked up and I lost the first 20 minutes of audio. Yay me, right? But without further ado, today I have a good and long-standing friend of mine, Mason, on the podcast today. He is another fellow podcaster and theater major from the University of Arkansas. And we talk about just some really interesting topics. We kind of give our opinions on some stuff. And, like usual, go on a couple of tangents here and there. But overall, I think you guys will still like this episode, even though I lost the recording of the first 20 minutes because recording from an iPhone is somewhat difficult and I'm still learning. But without further ado, here is a sex talk with Mason.
You're good.
Okay, so to pick back up,
where were we?
Something about going to doctors.
Oh, something about going to doctors. I mean, before the mic cut off, I was going on about how I find it weird that most of the cashiers in Walmart and like grocery stores tend to be female because, like, I guess I don't know if it's because like they shove a lot of the dudes down here like back into like the stock room or something, or if they just assume that everybody wants women to take care of them. But I don't know, maybe I want like some like 30-something bearded daddy to check me out. You don't know me, Walmart. Come on.
Okay, but to be fair, as someone who did work at Walmart, most of the dudes that work at Walmart that would be cashiers or checkouts are
not daddy status
people.
Not daddy status.
Not at all.
Damn.
Not at all.
Maybe there's a reason I don't shop there anymore.
I think that's because there's not a whole lot of them out here.
That too. No, it's funny. It's almost like a cult of a grocery store, like where we're at. Because I mean, I moved out here, and like my mom and dad were even calling me and being like, "Oh, well, hey, have you gone to this like you go to the Walmart around there?" I'm like, "There's a Walmart here."
Yeah.
That's like the place that you go. Granted, in my small nothing town, there is literally like there's a Walmart and a Harps, and that is also where people have car sex at in Mountain Home because there's nowhere else to go. I guess you either go to the woods or you go to a big empty parking lot that's always empty at night because everything shuts down and goes to sleep at midnight there.
Yeah. I'm so glad I never ended up growing up in a small town. Because like I was raised in the boonies of Springdale. So, like, I was always in a pretty sizable area. So
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Fayetteville and Springdale are not massive towns, not a city per se, but, like, I'd say they're at least township size. I think them two smashed together is about the size of where I'm at now, where we're at.
They are both at least 50,000.
See, yeah, you should.
I think Springdale's at like 65,000, and Fayetteville during school is 75.
Okay.
I know. Hold up. Let's keep talking.
Dude, be a college town. Could you imagine, like, just during the summer, a ghost town? It's so wild to think.
Well, it's so weird because Fayetteville is a small college town too. Mm-hmm. It's not like you go to Lawrence, Kansas, just like 30 minutes away from here, and that's a college town next to a big city. Like, it's not a far drive.
It doesn't really change much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's almost like there are so few people in Fayetteville that it actually does change. I want to say, like, brings up the population.
Fayetteville's population is 89,000 right now.
I see.
Northwest Arkansas is 525,000.
You know where 12,000 of those people are? Mountain Home, Arkansas.
Is Mountain Home in Northwest Arkansas?
It's Baxter County. It's like the top center.
I don't think Baxter County is Northwest because this is such a far topic from where we're going, but we'll get back on track in a second.
We'll get there.
It's Washington, Benton, Madison, and I think Crawford County.
Okay,
I think those are what the government considers Northwest Arkansas, but any rational person considers the casino in Siloam, Hots in Jane, like so Bella Vista, Siloam, Eureka Springs, and the tunnel to be the borders of Northwest Arkansas.
I see. So I guess we're just in the general Ozarks then,
yeah,
if that's the case. Which I'll take that too. Yeah, I definitely say you got off lucky not having to grow up where I grew up, because
I'm so glad, dude.
People come up with disgusting alternatives and ideas of how to have sex whenever they're younger.
Did anyone ever try to do it with a sandwich bag as a condom?
Yes, I've heard. Have you not heard like an old Cool Ranch Doritos bag, like using like those sorts of bags?
That's gonna tear up your vagina.
Yeah, right? It's not a good idea. Well, and I don't mean specifically like condimage. I'm talking about areas, locations. There was an old quarry, an old stone quarry that is so old. My parents used to actually use it as a swimming hole because it got shut down because they hit a natural spring.
Yeah, we have a couple of those in Springdale.
Nowadays, it is actually just full of trash, sizable enough to be cars and shit like that. It's awful. I hate what happened. I guess it's what you do. You throw cars and junk into it. But it's still full of water, so it's worse. Anyway, it's actually kind of a pretty spot to take photos now. That's actually where I kind of cut my teeth off of it. Starting out, but there is, I remember, an old couch that is so disgusting looking that everybody knows about over in that area. It's literally, it's got its own trail that goes off of the trail to go to the quarry. It's because it's right next to the high school junior high, so everybody is aware it is one of Mountain Home's 20 nasty furniture landmarks that people get nasty on. It's just, you look at a piece of furniture and you just you can see the must coming off of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be stained. You just look at it and you know, this thing gets sat on by naked butts way more than clothed butts. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know. Springdale specifically, there weren't a whole lot of spots that you would go to have sex. You kind of just did it when you were at a party, in high school. Because there's not a whole lot of landmarks in Springdale. But Rogers, there's a couple of places. There's the really nice little parking garage that overlooks all of Pinnacle.
Gotcha.
That's really cool, and a lot of people go there. Fayetteville, you've got the Cross.
Yeah.
You go to the Cross if you want some head. You go to the little park underneath it, which I think is a hell of a lot better because you can see more of Fayetteville because it's not blocked by fucking trees.
Yeah.
You go to the Mini Greek Theater.
Yeah, that's on campus.
That's on campus, but also it's the thing only theater people know about.
Fair.
Which is great because I've had sex there. If you're bold, you can do it on the Greek Theater like I have. And then if you're also bold like me, you can just walk into the theater after hours and do it.
See, but
because there's always a window that opens.
See, here's the thing though, God, you're picking places. These places are actually clean. My God, I could list off another one for you. There is an abandoned water slide in Mountain Home that has not been used since maybe my grandparents' era because it's one of those old concrete water slides that's just built into the ground. Super dangerous because the curves, they'll get you going so fast you'll just fucking fly off of it and hit a tree somewhere. It's really dangerous. It got shut down because of that. But honestly, it's too dangerous to even skateboard down nowadays because glass and shit from this old building up on top kind of got scattered down into it, so it's a lot of debris if you ever fall off your skateboard.
Yeah.
But inside of that old decrepit building that doesn't even have most of its walls anymore, there is a mattress, and that mattress has that same exact must to it, plus a few more stains. It is I call it Landmark 2 for sure, because that one's only like a 5-minute drive from high school. Notice that a lot of these places will
near the high school.
There's actually one inside the high school too.
You got the green room for theater.
Well, we had a theater building, but like those like changing rooms. I guess there were those.
I've definitely had my fair share of sexual encounters in a high school dressing room / green room couch.
I mean,
like every normal high school theater kid should.
Kind of same, but for my situation, it was more of like uncomfortable. I don't know how I feel about seeing a dude's naked body right now, because I don't know what I'm into yet.
Look, if you're not gonna get down and diggity in a high school theater green room, are you really a theater major?
No, I mean fair.
That's my belief.
Is that why all the furniture in the green room in the Fayetteville,
in the U of A's one?
Yeah, why is that? Why all that furniture feels kind of musty too?
Oh, people have definitely done some stuff in there, but no, that's just because it was from the fucking 70s. Okay. Back before they updated it.
Definitely more of the vibe I got too.
Because like, you also forget all the people we went to theater with in college were prude as hell. Like, so lame.
From the area. I mean, it's sort of being raised in these, in a Christian household that kind of does that to you, because,
Which is, I don't know, because, like, my theater group in high school was a bunch of fucking horny bastards that just like to be on stage.
Well, I mean, it's different in high school, because that's whenever you don't really have control of those emotions, per se. Like, you got a lot going on that you don't really understand.
Are you going to tell me that it's different from, like, 17 to the ages of 18 and 19? 'Cause I disagree. It's about the same. You just have more responsibilities.
Honestly, I meant, like, puberty age, but fair.
Oh. See, my high school didn't start till sophomore year, so we didn't have freshmen.
I guess I was doing theater even back in junior high, but at the same time, I wouldn't say that. I don't think I actually like did anything. I don't even know if I had even. I don't know what I was up to back then. That's a while back now.
Yeah, I try to remember stuff, and I'm like, damn, it's been 6 years.
It's already so hard. I hate it. I'm only 24. What's gonna happen?
Well, it's just like it's been 6 years since any of this stuff has happened. Like, why the fuck do I need to remember it anymore? So my brain doesn't.
Constantly filling my head with new useless garbage information. You kind of just like shove some of the old stuff out, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that's what long-term memories are for, right? You do or say something that vaguely relates to that old memory of yours, and then it kind of just rips itself back open inside your brain.
Well, speaking of that, like long-term memorize, it's so weird to me because songs stick long-term memory really well. Like me and Aubrey, when we were driving over to the bars last night, we put on Honky Tonk Badonky Donk because she really wanted to listen to it.
Oh my god, why?
She likes the song. It's her new country song that she liked. Not new song, but like it's the country song that she's like enjoys. But it was funny because I was like, I hadn't listened to that song in like probably 3 or 4 years, and we turned it on, and I knew every word for word, like pitch perfect. It was crazy.
Yeah, it is really. I've heard that like studying while listening to music and like moving around and stuff helps you like remember it too.
Now the music part only helps if you can also listen to the music while doing said thing that you're doing, because then it brings up the specific memories.
Fair. I guess I never really got to listen to music during any of my tests. Maybe just the background noise helped me focus.
Yeah. That's a part of it for that, but like in terms of like actually committing to memory, it really helps a lot more if you listen to the music while doing said thing that you needed to study for, because then you can bring back your brain's like, I was doing this thing at this part of the song kind of thing.
I mean, I guess it makes sense how we tend to create such emotional attachment to a lot of music too, if like memories are so easily like wound into it. Like, I wonder why that is. Like, what it is about music that really just like.
I don't know, but that's just definitely a thing, because I cannot listen to that one song from A Star Is Born. the main like Lady Gaga and whatever song. I cannot physically listen to that song because it was me and my ex-girlfriend's song, and then we broke up, and it was. I just it fucking hurts to listen to.
It's a bad kind of nostalgia. Yeah, I get what you mean. That's the thing. Like, I feel like whenever you're young and like people lord over nostalgia, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to get to that point. The feelings of nostalgia,
and then you get the nostalgia, and you're like, damn.
Oh god, it's never good.
I don't get to do it anymore.
It doesn't feel good. See, I have that sort of trigger with country music, which is why I despise that aspect of Aubrey. But, I guess that's what you're for.
But I love country.
The way that I was raised really kind of killed it for me because my dad, he built our house, which means that he also got to add a lot of his own little, like, quirks to it. Yeah. One of those things being an intercom system that he installed in every room of our house, which in the kitchen, was centrally connected to a radio. So you could use it to like talk to other people in the house if you wanted to. Granted, the mics were terrible and you could never make out what people were saying. So they just instead would just play the radio through it at all times of the day, and it was always 93.7 The Boot. They would play like upstairs, downstairs, in the kitchen, in their room, in my sister's room. They would try to turn it on in my room too. But I grew to hate it so much that I straight up ripped the knob out of our intercom and reinstalled it backwards so it looked like it was always turned to max volume.
I hate you.
I mean, I just hated it that much. I'm like being forced to listen to it 24/7. It really gets you feeling a certain sort of way about it. Ugh.
So, to get into a new topic, I want to open it up and see if you have any questions you want to ask me or anything along those lines. Anything you're interested to know about, or any just weird topics to jump into.
Just starting out, how'd last night go? I guess, like, I kind of, like, helped you start a conversation with a couple gals, but, like, we left pretty early. I don't really... Did you even go anywhere else?
No, I stayed at Missy B's the entire night. No, those girls, like, the one that I was interested in ended up having a boyfriend, so I just dipped from there. I was like, that's not worth my time.
I mean, good on you for not trying to fuck with it either.
Yeah. Well, that's why I asked if they were in a polyamory situation first, because then I don't feel bad. But we, I don't know, I kind of just walked around and enjoyed the show and talked to people. I mean, of course I got hit on by a lot of men. It's just... don't hate it. I enjoy it, but it's also just like not what I'm there for. So it's just like, ugh, okay, thank you. Well, it's also territory. Also, a lot of the ones that hit on me are the really weird dudes. Like, there's always a dude whose like peak idea of hitting on you is to show you pictures from his phone. Yeah. For some reason, I'm like, what the fuck is this? What do you want me to do with, like, I don't give it. Is that's your dog? Cool, thanks, bye. I do not care.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess these are these things that, like, this person looks at all these photos and, like, has a lot of memories with them, and they enjoy that, and they want to, like, try to share that and, like, show you their life, I guess, but...
One of the dudes that came up to me, and they're always, like, older dudes who, I'm, like, just, like, not even, like, a normal older, like 50s, 60s, and I'm like, you're really stretching it with your age interests. Bud.
Hey,
but, which, I mean, to each their own. Like, I'm definitely old enough to where it's not a problem. I can make my own choices, but also just like, ugh. But, like, the dude came up to me, and he's like, hey, how you doing? And then he pulls out his phone, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm like, either he's going to show me his dick, and it's not going to be a good-looking dick. Like, if it was a good-looking dick, I wouldn't be upset. But it was that, or... he was like, so were you a band kid? And I'm like,
a band kid?
Why are you assuming this? And he's like, I couldn't really understand what he was trying to say, but he was like, so I bought this thing the other day. It was a fucking xylophone. And I couldn't tell if he was trying to ask if I wanted to buy it or if I thought it was cool. And I'm like...
That is kind of strange.
He was like, I got this thing for, like, real cheap the other day. And I'm like, okay... The fuck am I supposed to do with it? I do not give a shit, man.
Well, it seems like maybe this guy has some trouble connecting with people, so he doesn't, I mean, it sounds like he just doesn't know the whole flirting vibe.
Well, the thing with it though is there's always that dude. There's always at least one of them, and I'm just like, I mean, I get it. I'm just gonna walk this way because I do not care. But then I met a couple of other dudes like more my age, and like I got to talking with them, and they like started flirting with me and like hitting on me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to stop you there. I'm not gay. You're very cute, and I enjoy this, but I am a tease and kind of an asshole. I'm sorry. If you want me to keep flirting with you, I will, but it's not gonna go anywhere.
At least you're not willing to lead them on. I respect that.
Yeah, because I don't have time for it.
Fair.
I don't have fucking time for it.
Fair.
One of my favorite things, this girl comes up to me with her group of friends, like all really cute girls, and they're like, so are you single? And I'm like, I mean, yeah. They're like, well, my friend's single too. And she points to her friend, her male friend, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not gay, as I'm holding my clacker fan with my shirt off, fucking twerking on another dude. I'm like, I'm not gay, I'm just having fun. They're like, the dude was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I mean, do you really think that I look straight? Like, does this look straight to you, bud? I'm like, I get it. He wasn't a bad looking dude. He was bigger than the type of dudes I would ever go for, but he was a cute man. He was definitely deserved something good. Not me, but something good.
Fair. I feel that. See, okay, this is what I'm curious about then. Like, the way you present yourself, and I feel that, like, the way you present yourself is not strictly, like, straightforward masculine like you would expect from a lot of dudes, especially, like, in our area.
Our area as in Fayetteville, or our area as in here?
The South.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I guess Missouri is not quite really the South.
You're the Midwest.
Pretty sure we're like
past Joplin. It's the Midwest.
We are like in the exact center. I'm pretty sure because KC is like halfway up.
Yeah.
But
did you know it's the same distance from Lincoln, Nebraska, to here as it is from Arkansas to here?
Really?
Yeah, that feels uncomfortable to know, doesn't it?
It is very strange. I'm from one of the places, so I guess it makes sense that it'd feel weird. But yeah, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to where I'm at yet. But regardless, like, I have my own reasons for how I present myself the way I do, not straightforward in that way. But I guess I'm kind of curious, like, you enjoy, like you said, you were twerking on a dude with your clacker fan that had, like, multicolored lips and shit on it.
Some
like,
gay lips on it, yeah.
Yeah, but that was you, like, having fun. Like, I guess I'm just curious, like, what sparks that for you? Do you think it has to do with, like, the area you were raised and, like, the clubs you started going to? Or
in terms of, like, being raised, hell the fuck no. My parents were absolute, like, so I had a bi-curious phase in, like, junior high, like all people should. And because, like, I wasn't sure, but I was like, I know men are cute, and I had a crush on a couple, but I was like, I don't really want to do anything with them, which is how it still is. But, like, I told a few people, and it was rough because it was at my church.
Fair.
So that didn't help. But one of the girls my age told my parents, and my mom tried to have the conversation. I was like, I'm not fucking having this conversation with you. And then my dad, like, got a little angry at me, but wasn't, like, awful about it. But, like, I don't know, the worst thing about that whole situation that really fucked me over, it was like, my mom, like, we were on a car ride, so I couldn't get out of it because adults know that. And she had a conversation with me, and she's like, so, like, I've heard some of the rumors, and I just want you to know that, like, oh god, what did she say? It's been so long that I forgot about it, and it hasn't, like, super affected me, but it was like I'm not big into the queer stuff or what, like, I'm paraphrasing heavily right now because it was, like, almost 8 years ago at this point, but, like, she's like, I'm not big into the queer stuff, but, like, I just want you to know that I'm not against it. I don't know what I would do if you were ever not religious. And I'm like, oh, Mom.
Oh.
That's the one thing I definitely am. Like, I'm very anti-religion.
But, like, also it's weird because, like, she went to Pride with me last year, so, like, she very much doesn't have it. She knows I'm fruity, but she knows that I am heterosexual when it comes to, like, actual sex. Like, she knows very much that I have zero interest in sleeping with men.
Do you think you'd call yourself more of like a dandy then?
Never heard that term.
It's I guess it's pretty much like an old world term of calling a guy metrosexual, I guess, but it's much more of like a personality thing, I guess.
Because I definitely don't use metrosexual because that's just a fucking 2000s term that never really caught traction or has useful meaning.
Yeah, it's kind of just what people who don't dress well call people who dress well.
Yes, exactly.
So I got called that all throughout junior high and high school. So
I do like dandy. I do like that term. But I just use queer in general because to me, queer is your personality, not your sexuality.
Fair.
Queer is the over-encompassing umbrella. Because people are like, oh, it's a slur. You can't use that word if you're not that. And I'm like, then how am I supposed to say queer space? How am I supposed to, like, I have queer friends, you know? Because, like, if I have a group of friends, if I'm like, if I were to go out with our group, I would say we're a group of queers. Because we're not all gay. We're not all
straight either.
We're not all men.
Yeah.
Or women. So it's a good mixture of all of it. And, like, because, like, I don't know. But to me, I use queer really heavily just because it's easier. Because, like, then everyone's like, oh, so you're gay? And I'm like, that's not... It's just one of those things where people don't have that definition in them, which I don't have a problem explaining my position on it. But also, it's really weird because it's always gay men. Just do not understand. They're like, so you do all of this, but you're not gay? And I'm like, yes.
See, it's kind of funny because I've kind of dealt with that in my own situation. Weirdly, mostly just because I haven't opened up to a lot of people from where I'm from because that's like it's a hard topic, especially being such a small town.
Yeah.
But like weirdly enough, like the couple of people who I've kind of had like pressure or like had trouble understanding me were both gay men.
Yeah.
One of them being my old roommate who actually like straight up told me like you can't call yourself gay until you have sex with a guy. Which was interesting, and I kind of understand his like reasoning on it because I mean you don't really know for sure until you get involved per se if you're on like that curious level. But
I was gonna say I would say you can't really ever call yourself gay because you're into women.
Yeah, that too, right?
Like if you're into both, you can't be gay. Like we have pretty set and defined terms. Now they are changing, but pretty set, like gay is never gonna change and what that means. I can't envision a world where that ever fucking changes what that means, you know?
Yeah, but I guess it's just it's and then whenever I talk to is actually like a coworker of mine I've had pretty recently. Like he asked me like what I was into, and I tried to describe him like demisexual, and then he was like, what is that? And when I tried to describe it, so he's like, so you're bi then? And
then they don't respect you because you are bi, because gay men do not respect bi men. Because they believe that it's not possible. They don't believe that it can exist.
And even if it's not that, I feel like it can kind of be the situation of like you have an out of not being almost judged by society because you can get into a heterosexual
You can do straight passing.
Yeah.
And they get mad about that.
Yeah. I honestly, and with my coworker, I think for him, like, I think it's much more important is that you don't let other people force you to not live your life for who you are, because he struggled with that for a very long time.
That's about all I do.
No, yeah, I mean, from the day I met you, I'm like, I don't really know this guy, but I respect that he does not let anybody tell him how to live his life.
Because, like, when it comes to the way in which I, like, display myself, I guess, just like that in general, like, everyone's like, how do you do it all the time? I'm like, I don't put any thought into it. I just do what I feel like. Like, I literally wake up and I'm like, I think I'm gonna wear a crop top today. Or the next day I'll be like, I'll wear a suit. Or, like, I don't have any problem wearing a skirt. I have a couple of skirts that look cute as hell on me. My only problem with it is that I do act this way so heavily, and like I just exude a more feminine. It's weird because I exude a very feminine aura, but I come off as really aggressive and masculine too. Like it's a very mixture of both. But for some reason, like I can't tell you how many people in college told me they were scared to talk to me because they thought that I was just mean. Because like my face looks like this most of the times, and it's just like I have resting bitch face pretty easily, but like I don't put it on. Also, I'm playing music and I'm just I walk really fast because like I had to get to places, and that's why everyone thought that I was everywhere all the time.
Fair, yeah, right.
So they would just see me fucking just at a steady pace or longboarding on my longboard with music playing and just like a stern face. I'm like, dude, that's not a stern face. That's me not thinking about shit.
Yeah. See, I have the exact opposite problem where I have resting concern face and everybody thinks that something's wrong all the time.
Yeah, you do. You're one of the few people.
I guess it's better than the latter, but also for sure get a lot of interesting glances.
But like, cuz also like I was saying with it, like cuz I do exude those things, people find it so hard to believe that I am sexually straight. Like they just refuse to believe it because like even you already had that experience. Fucking your coworker, whenever I went in yesterday, asked Aubrey, she's like, is he gay?
No, yeah.
And I was just like, god damn it, like I get it, I'm flirty, but I'm like the way in which I do it is very effeminate, and I get it.
Yeah.
And like I can play it to my strengths too, but it's just like, god damn.
Well, trust me, I mean, the way
I just don't want to like be perceived as like a masculine super straight boy, because that's boring.
Well, yeah, it is boring.
I know you have straight friends, and you know how boring they are. It's such a boring life. My homies that I hang out with all the time are so goddamn boring. And I'm like, why do you want to live in this world where you're just lame?
Well, I mean, because, like, that idea of the status quo is comfortable for a lot of people. And I mean, especially people that did not have to struggle with being different from others growing up. You kind of, like, find that, and, I mean, I wouldn't say that it becomes your identity per se, but it just becomes easier to just live your life the way you've been living it, because that's what's worked up until now, you know?
Yeah.
It's comfortable, I guess, is the term. The all-encompassing term. And I don't know, like, and I try not to judge it, because I know that I grew up differently. I was one of the few kids that never really fit into a lot of stuff because...
Hey, same.
Yeah, I mean, I just grew up in this huge toxic masculine environment. And
I was always the really weird kid in my school. But, to be fair, in junior high, I did do that to myself. Because that was when my goth and scene phase happened.
Sure.
And I also just... for some reason dressed like a school shooter. So didn't go over great.
See, for me, it was in junior high 8th grade actually, when I got into theater. And that was actually what, like, finally, because I used to never talk to anybody. I would always keep to myself. I was so closed off. I didn't like anybody, really. But when I got into theater, I finally opened up and kind of almost found myself as a person. Yeah. And from there is when I started dressing nicer and, like, taking care of myself. And, like,
it's so nice that when you realize that you're a little queer, how much better your outfits get.
Dude, I used to... Yeah, right? I mean, and my mom kind of did it to me, too, because she used to make a huge point about making sure I, like, properly color-coded my outfits when I was younger. She 100% did it to me on that. When it came to how I dressed, but God.
Well, because like for me, my friend, like my friend's style is, you know, throwing on a pair of athletic shorts and a hoodie, and that's all they care about. Whereas for me, I'm like, I have 6 different like button-up shirts like this. Like this one's got cacti. I've got a Hawaiian shirt. I've got a pastier Hawaiian shirt. Yeah. Like I've got a whole bunch of different things. I got a bunch of mesh, and I'm like, I can mix and match and have fun. They're like, I'm just gonna put on some clothes and I look fine, and I'm like.
Yeah, I've just never been that way. I want to make an outfit, but I guess it's part of like whenever you're not like everybody else, you kind of have to like create your own identity, and it's not what everybody else is doing, obviously, because that didn't work, right?
It's also so weird for me because I can make an outfit out of not wearing a shirt.
Fair.
Taking off half of my clothes is still a good outfit for me.
Well, good for you, Mr. Exomorph. I've never really had that. Well, I mean,
What is
to be fair,
ectomorph?
so when it comes to like body fat density and like how your metabolism works, like when it comes to working out, a lot of people like to refer to the different kinds of body types as it's endomorph and exomorph, and then there's
endo and ectomorph.
Oh, is it maybe?
I'm pretty sure it's ecto.
Maybe exo is the middle one, which is what I more so am. But it's like, it's some people that retain a lot of weight and cannot seem to lose it very well, and then the opposite side of the spectrum is like losing, like you lose all the weight that your metabolism like just eats away everything, but it also includes your muscle, so you can't really gain a lot of muscle weight very easily.
I can't
work really hard.
I can't gain or lose weight to save my fucking life, man. I've been 165 since college, and before that I was at 120.
See,
I didn't hit 100 pounds until I got to high school.
Once I started taking care of myself, it kind of leveled out.
Yeah, I'm an ectomorph, you're a mesomorph, and the endomorph are just the stocky dudes.
Like, I could probably, if I really set my mind to it, I could be 20 pounds in a different direction in like 3 weeks.
See, I'm the opposite. I could eat a full like cake and still lose weight.
Yeah, it's not that way for me. I like 100% I wear what I eat. So I guess that's kind of why I became kind of a foodie.
Like, looking at my stomach, would you say that I still have like somewhat noticeable abs?
Yeah.
I haven't been to a gym in 4 months, and I do not eat healthy anymore. I cannot get rid of my abs. It's so good.
Wow.
Like, even my 21st, like the year I turned 21 and like the summer of that year, I spent every fucking day that I wasn't working at a pool with a full bottle of Malibu, just pissed drunk, doing nothing, and I still, like, I did not get a beer gut.
God. No, I inherited a beer gut from my dad. I have to be careful about that. But yeah, I'm jealous. But I mean, hey, that's our bodies. That's how we're different. It's just, that's so funny because one of my bucket list items is to have an actual like visible set of abs at one point in my life.
It is so hard because like I can lean mine down to where you can see it, but I can't build them. That's because I hate doing ab exercises. They fucking hurt.
They are the worst. I am there too.
But also just like in terms like I can lean out really well and I can get my muscle definition shown, but I cannot build muscle well. Because I just cannot eat enough food to maintain it. I used to eat 5,000 calories a day when I was at campus and able to eat at the dining halls.
Damn.
5,000, because I counted calories. I ate roughly 5,000 calories a day, and I was still not putting on any weight.
See, yeah, and I guess like where I'm at, like I've never felt like I've needed to or really wanted to count calories because it's almost like I kind of know if I ate something that had a lot of like empty fats and shit like in it, because my fucking love handles would be like an inch bigger the next day or something.
See, like I did it because I'll go through phases like every like 2 or 3 times a year where I just really want to like try to muscle up and lean out, but then I get into it and start doing it, and then I'm like, nothing's happening. I hate this.
Yeah.
I'll spend like 2 or 3 months trying to do something, and I get zero progress. Damn. And some of it is because I'm not good at making exercise plans, and I don't have anyone to just yell at me at what to do. The other part is just my body.
That helped me for sure. I don't think you need a trainer to like get into an actual workout routine.
I don't need a trainer. I just need someone to write me a set sheet of what to do. Yeah. And I don't.
I think what anybody needs is just a friend who is passionate about working out, because they will get you where you need you need them to, where they need you to, wherever. One of those things. I'm gonna use my show now. What are we talking about?
Well, I was about to segue into another topic. I just wanted to see, is there any other topics you're interested in asking me about, or? And it's fine if you don't have anything.
I mean, there is one thing I'm curious about, but you've probably already talked about it on your show a lot, so I don't really know if it'd be all that interesting.
What is it?
Like, your first time and shit.
Oh, I've talked about that a couple of times. It's one of my favorite stories because it's so funny.
Okay.
It's so stupid. So I lost my virginity in the most Arkansan way possible without it being illegal.
Oh, no.
So
I hate that I know what you mean.
So it was my cousin's fiance. They had just broken up that week, like the day before, and they were supposed to get married the next week or something like that. And this was 2 weeks before I turned 17.
Oh, okay.
So, and like I knew her pretty well. We were really good friends. Like we rode the same bus and we went to the same junior high together. So like we hung out, and like I've seen her naked before. We used to like send nudes to each other to like see if they look good, and also we kind of flirted, which not great, but we were like, me and him were like second cousins, so I didn't feel bad about it.
Didn't feel like part of the family.
I didn't feel like well, she definitely wasn't part of the family, but I didn't feel like a dick because she was the one that initiated it too, because she was a year older than me. But so she hit me up and she was like, "Hey, you're a virgin, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, not anymore. Let's come over." And I was like, "Okay, shit."
Damn.
So then I went over to her place, and she was like, "Okay, so my parents are still home, so we're not gonna be able to do it here, but I know a place." So she walks me over to a field, and we ended up having sex on a dirt pile in a cow field with a big red barn next to a Walmart.
Oh my god, that is the most Arkansan way to have sex. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
It was also really weird because, like, I was a virgin, so I didn't know what vagina, like, felt like or whatnot. But, dude, when I tell you I got legitimately confused and concerned when that shit was as warm as it was, I did not think that a vagina was going to be that hot.
Fair.
Now, listeners, I know you're looking at me or listening to me being like, what the fuck do you mean? Of course it's going to be hot. Here's the thing. As someone with a penis, when I grab my dick, it is not flaming hot. It is not like a noticeable difference from the way the rest of my body feels.
Are you saying yours doesn't catch on fire?
I've done that a few times, but that's not on its own.
It's like I have to like keep like a sack of water in my pants. What? Like, that's not. I thought everyone had to do that.
No, you just have chlamydia. No.
Damn. Shit.
He does not.
Good one. How do you know?
As far as I'm aware, I asked your doctor.
Oh shit. Okay.
But no. So what I'm saying is like if you grab someone's arm, this is 97 degrees roughly that you're holding.
Yeah.
But it does not feel legitimately warm. When you put your dick in a vagina, I felt like that shit just popped out of the microwave. And I was like, what the fuck? Because, like, I didn't expect it to be cold by any means. I didn't feel like I was going to be fucking, like, cold roast beef. But, like, I felt like it would be, like, room temperature or something. Like not a noticeable change.
Yeah.
It was so weird to me. It was so cool, though.
Huh. Yeah, wow, you born and raised in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Ye fucking ha. Yeah, that's that's definitely a much more interesting.
So, you want to talk about yours or not super?
Well, it's a shame because mine is like a big source of trauma for me, sadly.
Oh, that's a lot of people's.
Yeah,
but that's
fair.
what this podcast is for.
Okay, I mean, if that's the kind of conversation you're willing to have.
If you're comfortable with it, I don't care.
I'm okay with talking about
everything.
it. I honestly, it's kind of like a thing I talk to a lot of people about because it's it is who I am. It has shaped a lot of me. It is, you know, it's a part of my life. So
because it's also an interesting perspective because it's not normally the dudes who have a traumatic experience with their first time.
Well, I am definitely unique in that way. Trust me. There are many people that did not believe my situation.
I don't mean to laugh at it, but like,
no, it's
you
okay.
know, like, yeah.
My misery is for humor.
God damn it.
That's what I tell my coworkers too, but
You should be telling your therapist that.
maybe. So, I was actually 13 or 14 at the time, and I had dated somebody for like half a year before that, but I didn't even see them for 3 months of that relationship because we were like gone for summer, and I just wasn't, I don't know, it was just like, you know, I was like 12, 13, you don't really like understand a relationship at that point in your life, you know? And it wasn't really much of one, so yeah, it kind of petered off, but after that, I met somebody who is just, you know, she wasn't actually like from the area. She had like moved to Mountain Home and started going to our school. I got to know her. We started like hanging out and doing stuff together. And she was a wild person, I will tell you that. I mean, she was a couple years older than me, and
like wild in terms of me, or a different type of wild?
It kind of in terms of you, yeah. But like definitely she was also just kind of a manipulative person. It definitely, like, in a different way, it manifested in a different way, but she'd definitely been around the block a few times even at our age.
I knew a few girls like that got started young. You know, one of them's on their 6th kid now.
That's crazy.
And that kid is in middle school.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine having a middle schooler at our age?
I dissociate every time I hear that someone my age has had a kid.
A kid, let alone a full ass child.
Like they have their own like individuality at this point.
Yeah.
That is weird. But no.
Yeah, back to what you were saying.
Honestly, I almost kind of got thrown into this situation because of the fact that like my parents would hover over me constantly. So
helicopter parents always create bad situations for their kids in some form or other. Don't do it.
You just don't. You gotta let your kid live their life, because guess what? If you try to not let them live their life, they're gonna do it anyway, and it's gonna be way less safe because they're keeping it a secret. So there was one time she asked me to like come like hang out with a friend of hers and stay the night over, which, you know, like wasn't supposed to do. My parents didn't let me have a girl over like past the evening since I was in like the 5th grade. So was not supposed to be doing what I was doing. Did not tell my parents where I was at.
I will say I do kind of agree with that though. Like not necessarily in like a bad way, but there's kind of just no point. Unless it's like someone that you're like legitimate friends with, you know?
Well, that's the thing.
Like I sure as hell would not let my kid have their significant other, quote unquote, over past.
No, and I get that, but like I had my best friend from the 1st grade was a girl.
That's different.
Yeah, and once we hit a certain age, we weren't allowed to hang out anymore.
Okay, see, that's different to me. Like if I have friends over, like my parents definitely let me have sleepovers with my female friends that I had at that age, but like if I had a significant other, there was no way in hell I was going to try to have them stay over. That just didn't make sense.
But yeah, I was over there under the pretenses of being at a friend's house. We went and got her friend from the place that she worked at that night, and we hung out. And when the evening came, she was super exhausted, so she like passed out on the couch, and then that girl's mom that I was staying with had like taken medication, so she was out. Like she was gone for the rest of the night. So it was just the two of us, and I didn't really know what was going on, but she kind of took control of the situation, especially because of the fact that her friend was sleeping literally right next to us, and I was not where I was supposed to be and had no way of getting home. She kind of just did what she wanted to, without my permission, and
being real bold, doing it right next to her friend.
Yeah,
which I can't say a whole lot.
In her mom's recliner too.
I can't say a whole lot because I've definitely done that, but like in a consensual way. I've definitely, well, not for my roommate, but
Yeah.
My roommate got a little pissed, but I was like, I'm not gonna say no, and you know the person that was giving me head, so I'm not gonna say the name.
Yeah, no, it was not.
Sorry to take away from your.
No, it's
story.
okay. It's okay. It was not a great situation, but I have spent a lot of time like figuring that out. And honestly, like what ended up being worse in that relationship was that like later on into it, because I was still, so young and figuring things out and was kind of fucked up by her, she kind of started seeing a lot of other people while we were still together, and then ended up just kind of ditching me and dropping my shit off at my front door one day.
Yeah, so she's just a straight up asshole.
Oh yeah, she was a terrible person.
We love them.
We love them. They
define who we are.
They really do, because
Sadly.
they either make you or break you, or you either choose. You choose to become one, but thankfully that was not how it shook out for me.
Until we discover all the bodies in your freezer, but I won't look there.
Nah, that shit's full of Italian ice right now. There's no way. There's no space.
We don't have room for bodies.
We're at that very depressing bachelor age where most of the meals come from the freezer.
Yeah, but those are the good meals. Because you don't have to put effort into it.
Sustenance. Well,
so easy.
I still try to toss a bunch of shit from the seasoning cabinet into it.
See, look, my go-to meal is just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because it's just there.
Fair.
Or a roast beef sandwich because it's just there. So easy.
I will do that. Maybe not with the peanut butter sandwich, but like anytime that I make something like that, I always have to douse it in hot sauce, though.
Ew.
My taste buds are fucked up.
But yeah, so just a couple more topics before we wrap up the podcast. One thing I'm interested in is what are some places you've always wanted to have sex at? Like, what are some locations you think would be super, or situations you think would be really fun?
Well, first thing that literally pops into my head is a natural hot springs.
That'd be fun.
Because I guess growing up in a watery town, I've been in a lot of situations where I have like done it in and around water. So
it's
like that's
not
kind of
comfortable or good for you.
It's not.
It's not bad for the dude. It is awful for the woman.
Yeah, you kind of have to like get out of like not being directly in the water once you like really get down to it. But
well, if you get the right kind of lube, it doesn't really matter all that much. But you are still just packing lake or stream water into a girl's vagina.
You really don't want to do that. It's more so like the foreplay aspect of it that I'm like into it for, I guess.
Because I've definitely had sex in a couple of pools in Lake Avalon and Bella Vista.
I've done a jacuzzi once. That one was kind of weird. But that's the first one that pops into my head. Specifically, if I could choose one, it would be like a traditional like Korean or Japanese like hot springs, because with places like those, you can't hardly like get into them if you've like modified your body and stuff like that. Like it is like pure. They care about like that natural. Like they don't. It is a natural springs. So, or not even like one of those ones that you like hike up to. That's like in the wilds.
One that you have to travel to.
Yeah.
Yeah, those would be nice.
God, just I don't know. Well, I mean, that's just like a general like explorer brain like me that just. I mean, I want to go see places like that, but I mean, I'd be also interested in doing it in a place like that too.
Any other things?
I'm trying to think.
Because for me, all of mine have to do with having sex in public, because I love exhibitionism and voyeurism.
Fair.
That is my favorite thing. Definitely want to make a legit porno. Like, I would like to star in a legit porno. But
I want to make a J-Rock film.
If I could do it anywhere, it would be during the halftime show of a Razorback football game on the field.
Specifically Razorback Field?
Preferably, because it's the only football team I care about.
Fair.
Other than that...
Would it make it better for you if the team was actually good?
Yeah, it'd be great if we were fucking up 50-0 or something like that. That way
Or just, on the way to winning a game at all.
Yeah, for once in the last 5 fucking years. But other than that, I really want to have an orgy. Have not done that. I would like to attend a sex party or like sex dungeon thing where you kind of walk in and everyone's just welcome to do whatever they want.
See, yeah.
Which is why I'm excited to go to Austin because I know they have them.
See, I guess like my answer, other than like a specific place, is like there's just a lot of things I still want to try because every single person I've ever been with has either been like that first person who gonna fuck me up or a virgin.
Yeah.
So
I've only slept with one virgin in my life.
Interesting.
And that's not from lack of trying. That's just it's really hard to find virgins that are into me.
Fair. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's all so cracked up to what
it's not.
Because you're messing around with somebody that has no
fucking idea. It's like
and I'm kind of in this place where I'm trying to, because I've always seen myself as a switch, but I've always been forced to be the dominant one in the situation just because, like, for some reason, everybody who grew up around here wants someone to take care of them. But I want somebody to take care of me for once in my life,
Yeah.
I want to, like, honestly, I've always loved the idea of being tied down. Like
bondage or like in a relationship that you can't get out of.
Well, I mean, I like relationships, but I mean, like literally, like having my arms and legs tied down to the point that I cannot move.
I don't like that just because I don't trust people enough, and I'm terrified of ball play. Don't like it. But so the other place that I really want to have sex at is I want to have sex in a car while someone else is driving us around.
I mean, self-driving cars are going to be a thing soon. Does that count?
Yeah. I think it'd be more fun if I had just like a friend driving us around the city and just railing them. You open up a sunroof and you just see her head bobbing up and down out of it. I think that'd be the funniest fucking thing and so much fun.
Okay.
So then one more question that I have is in terms of kinks and just sexual stuff in general, outside of like the obvious like fucked up shit, where do you draw the line?
Sorry to be saving all these questions for like the end of the podcast.
It keeps people listening.
Fair. Where do I draw the line?
Because I have some ones that I am just very much not necessarily not okay with, but like I'm not gonna be around it.
I'm still figuring out butt stuff because I got my own.
It's so much fun.
I've got my own medical problems that I got to sort out.
Yeah, fair. That does make it harder, but it's so nice.
I don't know. And I guess that's funny. Like you mentioned, it's a trust thing. Like I kind of like want that level of trust if I'm going to get involved with somebody, anyway. But I don't know how I would feel about putting my mouth on somebody's asshole.
See that? Yeah. Well, no, I've thought about it, and I am totally okay with eating ass.
They would just have to really clean it out.
No, for me, I have to like if I'm gonna do it, it's got to be a thing where we take a shower together, and I make sure it is up to my standards.
Okay, yeah.
And I need them to douche because I'm gonna douche beforehand too. Mm-hmm. My thing is I'm never gonna let someone eat my asshole.
Yeah, fair. I don't know if that's really something that I really want either, per se.
It's not that I'm against it. It's just that it's really hairy, and I don't want to put a girl through that.
Yeah, it's just
situation.
not a part of your body you feel that's attractive,
But, I mean, if I ever meet some girl that's like, yeah, no, I really want to do this, I'll think about it. We'll talk about it.
See, yeah, and I guess that's kind of like that's why that's really the only thing that I'm kind of weird about is like for me it's really about like what the other person wants a lot of times.
Yeah.
Whenever I get into the situation. Okay, eyeball licking. I know that's something that some people do too.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a new one.
Weird.
I'm good.
I would not. I would not.
See, a lot of people draw the line at feet and whatnot, and like I don't have a foot fetish by any means, but I definitely have a foot kink. Like, if it's a girl, like a cute girl, I definitely enjoy sucking toes, and it's a lot better if they enjoy it too, like if it's something they want. But I just don't think I can let someone suck my toes.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. I have a really awful self-image issue. Like, I know I'm a good-looking person, but I also think I look like shit.
I still don't believe I'm a good-looking person.
Yeah, see? Like I think you're a pretty solid-looking dude.
Thanks.
A lot better now than you were in college, for sure. But
we start taking care of ourselves and things happen.
right? But, like, mine mostly stems from my feet being fucked up and my nose being fucked up. Those are the only two things I absolutely hate about myself. But outside of that, like, I just don't want someone sucking my toes because I feel like it's weird. Plus, I know I have really bad toenails right now, and I need to get them I need to get a mani-pedi. In terms of stuff that I just straight up draw the line at, sounding and furry shit. I will straight up just stop talking to somebody if I find out they're a legitimate furry.
See, I have a tolerance level for the furry shit, mostly just because I had a roommate who super hard was one, and I learned a lot of stuff from him. I wouldn't say it's anything that sparks anything for me, per se, but yeah, actually, I don't know. Like, I don't know how that conversation would go if they were trying to make it, because I can understand, like,
well, because I had some friends I've
interested
straight up just stopped talking to because I found out they were furries, and it's one of those things where it's not that, like girls with cat ears or like those emo cat girls. I don't have a problem with that. I don't count that as being a furry, in my opinion. I'm talking people that, like, invest the time into getting a full fursuit and go to, like, fur cons and shit like that. Done. Do not want that in my life. Because for me, and this is an extremely opinionated topic, and this is one of the few things I am extremely opinionated on, is no matter what they say or what they believe on, if they are a furry, to me, they fully are into bestiality in some sense, and I'm just not down with that. Because while, yes, you know it's a human, you're dressing up like an animal to get that sensation out of it. And to me, that is just like a furry thing. That furries are just, while it's not necessarily bestiality, it's a subsection that leads to it. Not necessarily, it's not a gateway to bestiality, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't imagine they're gonna go fuck a lizard or something because they have that attraction to them, or fuck a horse.
Just
but it's something that gets them off in a bestiality sense that I'm just not there for.
No, I understand what you mean there. And I mean, like, my friend who I had, like, he was very strictly against that sort of stuff too. He mostly just liked to get, like, artwork done and then buy, like, dragon-shaped dildos that would, like, fucking move around his intestines, but, you know.
Yeah, well, I do like Bad Dragon as a company because their dildos are wild.
They are very well made.
But I also don't like the furry art because I'm just like, this feels weird. It's so, like, coming from a dude who does sexual art.
Oh, but
just like, ugh.
No, fair. I mean, your photography and everything, like, it's a very professional thing for you. The thing is, though, usually the art that
just so good too, and I'm like, I hate this.
Right. Well, a lot of the art that he would get done would usually be pretty good and would not be, like, just obvious porn, I guess. It would be, like, actual, like, artwork of him and his fiancée.
Yeah.
Like, in some sort of just regular, natural situation. Like, it was just sort of, like, almost trying to, like, create, like, almost a tableau of their lives, I guess. Instead of it just being, like, this is a drawing of an anthropomorphic creature that has human eyes and big thighs. Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the two main things that I definitely draw the line at. Also, the biggest thing I draw is any kind of needle play, blood play. Can't do it. Terrifies me. Will not do fecal.
Yeah.
At all.
Oh, yeah, I should probably put that too.
Knife play, I'm not against as long as it's the back end of the knife. I will not do any kind of cutting or, like, anything like that, but I am comfortable because with myself in handling a knife that if they wanted me to, like, drag it on them or just the tip for, like, fun, that's cool. But if I were to do any sort of, like, cut on accident, it would have to stop and change immediately. Cannot do it. But it's also weird because I'm totally cool with piss play. I have